And a very good evening to you. I'm Sophia Alsop, Cambridge, with this Sunday, August 5th edition of the CBC Evening News. In our top story tonight, Grand Kadooment continues to attract new bands, and come tomorrow, at least 2 of them will be on the road among the familiar names.
Capri Culture is just one of the new bands on the road for 2018, and its section leaders are hoping to add their personal touch to the jump.
Capri comes from an Egyptian word, and it means change and transformation of forms. And that's exactly what we want to do to crop over. We find that, crop over could be a bit expensive. When you look at Trinidad Carnival, when it's 2 days, we're paying the same amount of money for 1 day. So we want to change it up and be more fashionable with our costumes. Don't really focus on the feathers. Yes, that's a key point, but we still want to switch it up.
Unoya episodes will also be making a debut on Kadooment Day. General Manager Jason Thompson is pleased with the public's response to the band.
Immediately we had a good turnout in terms of persons coming to view the costumes, come to see the costumes. But then we recognized that in terms of the purchasing of the costumes, it would have been a little delayed. Then I recognized that seemed to be our Beijing little phenomenon here going on, where we like to come last minute. So now that we're getting very closer to the date, we're getting that mad rush of persons coming and saying, where's my costume? I'm ready to jump now. I like this costume from the time the band had launched. And the question is like, so why you didn't register from then? Man, I was just deciding. But yes, what we did was to ensure that we pre-ordered costumes and prepare for these last minute persons.
These new bands will join several other long-standing ones, like Betty West, which will be paying tribute to Red Plastic Bag this year.
We have a spectacular presentation for the stadium, and I feel privileged and overwhelmed that RPB decided to join me on Kadooment Day. We have completed, and the band is almost filled up, but we're ready and packed to give out. This year has been very challenging, but I still feel good about myself. To see with my friends, I had the courage to go right through until the end.
Meanwhile, the Contact Band has a fantasy theme and will boast a large overseas contingent.
We did 10 sections. We have a lot of interest in the band from overseas as well as local. Yeah, we have Mischievous Ladies out of New York, and they're a very big section with a band called Ramaji, which is I would say a winning band at Liberty. They win everything. So we have them, we have Carnival Revelers, we have a group out of Trinidad as well, and we have even DJs out of Trinidad that plays on the Humor truck that is with us this year.
Grand Kadooment gets underway at the National Stadium from 9 in the morning. Sean Farrell, CBC News.
Thank you so much, Sean. And an estimated 10,000 revelers could make the trek from the National Stadium to Spring Garden tomorrow as the curtain comes down on the 2018 crop over season. Producer of the Republic Bank Grand Kadooment, Adisa Aja Andwele, says based on registration, 27 bands are expected on the road. According to him, it's a small increase over last year's number.
Last year, about 23 bands participated. So if all those bands turn up tomorrow, because you still have to wait and see who shows up. There will be more bands than last year, but we have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. If all the bands show, right? So we have a few more bands, 1 or 2 more bands in comparison to last year. But we still have to wait and see what happens on the day.
In the meanwhile, police are hoping for an incident-free climax to the 2018 crop over season. According to Police Public Relations Officer Acting Inspector Rodney Innes, over the weekend, major events such as the Pick of the Crop Finals and the 4-day morning jam came off without any reported disturbances. For tomorrow's Grand Kadooment, he says security forces have reviewed what he called the shortcomings of previous years and have put strategic planning into place.
The Royal Barbados Police Force continues to work well with the Barbados Defence Force. We come together and we patrol the whole route, secure the whole route in its entirety, and we look at patrons and supporters, making sure that everybody is safe and sound. That has not changed as our plans for tomorrow. We have had our deliberations with the Barbados Defence Force. We have planned strategically for all areas along the route, things that presented challenges last year and years before we have sorted out. And it's only for the execution of our plan.
Well, as of midnight tonight, consumers will be paying less for gasoline, diesel and liquefied petroleum gas, or LPG. But the retail price of kerosene will increase. Gasoline will now cost $3.88 per litre, an 8-cent drop, while diesel is down 6 cents from $3.21. This will be the first decrease in the prices of gasoline and diesel since the introduction of the fuel tax, which came into effect on the 1st of July this year. The price of kerosene will increase by just 1 cent, going from $1.45 to $1.46 per litre. The 100-pound of LPG gas will now retail at $154.34, down $7.83. The 25-pound cylinder moves to $43.69, saving $1.95, while the 22-pound cylinder will decrease by $1.72 to retail at $38.61. The 20-pound cylinder is down $1.56 from $36.66. Well, almost a year has passed since Hurricanes Irma and Maria caused widespread damage to several countries in the region. Tonight, we get a little bit of an insight into the rebuilding efforts in two of the hardest hit territories, Dominica and Barbuda. Sharika Griffith has more.
Words like flattened, rubble and ghost town painted a picture of the devastation Hurricane Irma brought to Barbuda. Residents were forced to evacuate to Sister Isle, Antigua, as the island was pronounced uninhabitable. Fast forward 11 months, and Executive Director of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, Ronald Jackson, says Barbudans are beginning to reoccupy the territory.
I think close to half, maybe more, of the population is back in Barbuda. The rehousing program there that was being done by the UNDP has gone fairly well. There are some things we still have been hearing from Antigua that they want to do better, which is in terms of the debris management process, but they're well in advance there and moving forward.
In Dominica, who as recently as March was still 60% without electricity, Mr. Jackson is reporting progress with several housing projects.
In Dominica, the housing project is moving. I think the UNDP project is finished. The project we are supporting in terms of the Kalinaga territory is about halfway. We're hoping to intensify that and complete that within another month. So by September 18, hopefully there is no adverse event. We'll be able to complete that particular exercise and also the exercise that is being sponsored by the Barbados Community Foundation on the health centers that are outlined. We want to complete that by the 18th of September.
He was speaking to the media after receiving a check from the Barbados Community Foundation to assist with rebuilding 4 medical centers in Dominica. Donations and projects coordinator Sarah Clark says while the foundation has raised and distributed millions to local projects, it felt compelled to help the people of Dominica.
Our feedback was that helping medical centers get up and running again was a way to help the broader community. So we felt that that was a great suggestion, and as Mr. Jackson said, we've been talking and researching and trying to find the right centers to help and the right way to help effectively, because we really do believe that you have to engage in that meaningful conversation to know that you're not just giving, but you're giving what people need.
Mr. Jackson, however, revealed that progress is being slowed by a lack of human resources and materials. He says there's also an ever-present need to manage the tension between rebuilding homes which comply with new building standards and the immediate need for housing. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.